Hi everyone. Yes, I'm still sick, but I thought I would try and get in a short video. I'm a little bored at home, as you can imagine. So hopefully I can do this without coughing my head off. I just thought I'd, show you the steps that I do for, making my add-ons, I guess you'd call them. Just to make simple things look like really great and it really easy. So you can see I've done some butterflies. These ones are done. And this one added a little stickles. I don't think you can see it, but I ended up wiping it off. It was just too much. But I've done different sizes. And I don't know that I'll use them all. I just do them up because at some point I will use them. I like to be prepared. Let's just say that. So let's just play. All I've done is I've cut these little birds out. Okay, that one didn't work very well. And I've covered them in embossing, clear embossing. It will change the color. And I think you can see this like with the butterflies. Let's see if you can. So the top, I don't know what you call that, is little antenna things. I did not emboss. I left it as paper. So it will change the color. It brightens it up a little bit. So the butterflies, I glued them together first, and then I embossed them in clear embossing, and then I went over them with a gold, and then I glued the antennas on top. And it just gives a nice contrast. It's not everything is shiny. And I'll show you how I did that. I'm going to do the hummingbird. I like it just the clear embossed, but I want a little pop. And to do that, you can just simply heat and dip. I'll show you how I do that. Because it already has the embossing powder on it, it's fairly easy to do. I use a tray, just a little dollar store tray, and I try and get a lot in there because then you've got it nice and mounded. And it's much easier to dip it that way than trying to move things around. So you just take your heat gun and just heat it in one spot, basically. And then just lightly dip it. Okay, that didn't heat enough. It's the beauty of this. It's really simple. And then I just dip it. And then, I just work my way around. If you don't want to do that, if it's not kind of precise enough for you, you can use your Versamark pen. And this thing is awesome. Mine's pretty beat up. This is my second one too, and I kind of killed it. You just add a little bit. And because it's already embossed, it will stay wet a little longer than going directly to paper. Then just dip it in, bang it off. Take a look. If it's too heavy, you can I always use the same brush. And if you just sort of pounce on it, you will take some of it back off again, so it's not super thick, but you're getting a nice little effect. I'll show you. There you go. It just adds a little, another dimension in my mind. It's certainly not necessary, but I really enjoy doing those extra little things for a book. That's the joy I get, It's, I don't know, I just really like it. And because I do craft to sell, I mean, this is my income, I want to give the best of what I can do, and I mean, if you're looking to get paid for your time, this is not the job for you, because you will not get paid for your time. I don't do it for that. I love what I do, and I can only use so many journals. So I kind of had to start selling. I had no intention of selling. And then when I ended up retiring, you know, I didn't make a lot of money. I worked for Starbucks, so I didn't make a lot of money by any means. I only worked part-time. But just that little bit extra, it made a difference. And so I started this. And who knew that it would do so well? I certainly didn't. Vintage Moss told me it would, but I didn't believe her. Okay, so now let's see if I can get that up nice and close for you to see. See, it just makes, I don't know, makes a difference. Sorry. It almost gives it a 2D effect. And it just jumps off the paper. So, you know, I'll go around and do, sometimes I just do little spots, like maybe the top of the bird's head and the beak, a little bit on his tail feathers. Sorry guys, I might not be able to film anymore. I go through stages, you know, where I don't cough for like a half hour. And then I do this. Okay, I'm not going to be able to do this. Sorry about that. We'll try again. I'll just keep pausing it every time I have a little attack. Sorry, I'm off camera. I started on the bird, so I'm just adding little bits here and there. I'm not adding a ton to this guy. Just be careful when you're heating it up, you know, small things. I hold it in my hand, but be careful. You don't want to burn yourself. I've just done this a million times, so. The other thing is, if you turn it over, you know, once you've dipped it, turn it over and make sure there's none on the back. If there is, use a brush. Keep the same brush for it. Because the more embossing powder you get on that side, the harder it is to glue it on a page. So that plain old bird turned into that, you know. Oh, and thank you, Jamie. I had a spot, where's my finger? Right in here, and it was my lamp. I didn't even notice it, you guys, so sorry about that. The last video, apparently. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, now, you get the idea with the birds and stuff. I want to show you something really fun and pretty to dress up envelopes. I put one here. So I've made this little envelope and I made a little card to go in it. So I just embossed a gold flower, and this is Stampin' Up, and a tiny little blue bird. And it's plain on the back, so it's a nice little journal card. But let's make it really pretty, this envelope. So just take your pen, and I do it in sections because it is paper, so it dries much quicker. I know you'd like to see me heat that in the camera, but it blows everywhere. And then I've got embossing powder everywhere on everything for weeks. So I tend to do it off camera. So despite the fact that I still sound bad, I actually feel way better than I did yesterday. Oh my goodness, yesterday I thought I was dying. I even went outside today. I had to go get car insurance. That's always fun. Necessary evil, though. Okay, so look how pretty that looks. Let's see if I can get it up nice and close for you. And I don't know if that light's shining. Whoop, where am I going? There, that way. Oh man, I'm so backwards. But see, just a little bit, and it makes such a difference. It's just, it stands out. If you wanted, you could go back and add more if it's not enough for you. I think this is enough, although I think I might heat it a little bit more. Just to flatten that out a little bit more. I'll let that cool a little bit. Yeah, so there you go. Just pretty, you know. You could do that with regular envelopes that you mail something to someone. It makes such a difference, I think. People won't want to throw out the envelope. They'll just reuse it. That's another trick. If you want to include like an envelope in a parcel or something, but you don't want to glue it because they could reuse the envelope, right? Use a little removable glue dot and just stick it down so it's closed, because then it just rubs off. It won't rip the paper. Anyway, just another little trick there. Okay, so I'm kind of bored with doing that. I tend to do this. I get bored really fast and I need to move on. So let's glue some of these butterflies. Get their little antennas on there. So I don't put embossing powder down the center. It makes the antenna easier to adhere. And I like using the thicker Aleene's rather than that this one, the tacky glue pen. It's much thinner glue, and I just like the way this sticks much faster than the liquid one does. So like I said, I don't know where I'm using these or if I'll use them. I certainly won't use them all. Well, maybe I will. I don't know. If I don't, I'll just probably include them in with the journal when it sells. Somebody said to me for the last journal I couldn't sell it, and I've felt that way many times. You know, sometimes I tend to make things that are my taste. I think most of us do. It's a major challenge to me to create something that is absolutely not my taste. Well, that last book was not my taste. I was really pleased with it, don't get me wrong. I was very pleased with the outcome. And it wasn't just the color, it's a little too frou-frou for my taste, but I genuinely liked the book. But it wasn't difficult to sell it. Okay, I'm going to pause again because I feel the coughing coming on. I'll be right back. Thanks, you guys, for being patient with me. I can't wait to hear myself, like my normal self in my head. It just doesn't sound like me at all. Okay, one of these is bigger than the other, so let's see which one that is. This one's bigger. So I definitely want to add birds to this because there's birds on almost every page, I think. Now this is more my taste. I'm not a blue person per se. I do, however, like this blue with the gold. Yeah, I really like it together. And it's bold. I like bold. I mean, I like muted colors too. I don't know. I like a lot of different things. But this one, I needed to do something like this for the next one because the other one was so pink. So I needed to go bold. Okay, and one more butterfly. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money on embossing powder, I mean, it's not terribly expensive, depending on where you get it. It's not terribly expensive. You get a lot and you don't use a lot when you're working. My recommendation is stick with 3 colors, gold, silver, and clear. With clear, you can do a couple different kinds. There's a detailed one. So when you're doing, like, say you want to clear emboss like black lettering, so you stamped out a word, if you use the detailed one, it's going to look fantastic. If you get like the Tim Holtz, that won't. It just because it's a distress kind of a thing, and it's not meant to stick everywhere. I like that look, but not for lettering. I want more detail when I'm doing lettering. So you can get a couple different kinds, but don't go nuts, you know, and until you know you really, really like it. And then just buy the ones that you really, really like and are going to use a lot. I have loads, let me tell you, loads of embossing powder, and I don't use half of them. So there you go. I'm obsessive compulsive. So a lot of stuff I buy, yeah, I regret because, yeah, it's nice, but I don't end up using it. It's a waste of money if you're not going to use it. So I have to rein myself in at times. Okay, so I did this other thing I wanted to show you guys. Let me move this. And I got all the pages folded, and I pulled out the papers I'm going to use. I cut this out. I have a little doily die. So pretty. I'm going to edge it in gold. I think that'll be really pretty. But I did this with my doilies. So I glued them. I overlapped them. Then I used a little bit of, on this side, tracing paper, and I glued that on top of it. So it gave me a little bit more stability in here, because then I can just sew right through that. I might even end up putting something else as well, just so it's super stable. I like the tracing paper in the sense that it's very flexible, and once it has the glue, it's very sturdy. So, I don't know, we'll see. But I wanted to, you know, put it in the book like this, and that way it's full. Sorry, here I go again. I'm going to pause. Okay. So, I've got my pages folded and inked. I haven't decided on the corner yet. I think I'm going to put them together first and then see where we go. I am thinking something really simple because the pages are super bold and they have lots of detail on them. I want to do a simple corner. I show you the one I was thinking of. If I can find it. Yeah, this one. It's just a little corner, but it is so cute. I'll show you. I think I showed you guys this before. So it just does a real simple, and I think that'll look really good on these pages. Now, I've done 2 of these, because I had one printed for something. I don't know, probably just to show you when I finished the kit. I always print out a set. And I thought, well, I don't want to waste it. Let's print 2. So I'm going to have one in each signature. So this is how I set mine up. I'll do that. I just separate them all. Okay, then I kind of decide which one I want as the front signature, the front of the signature. I absolutely love these lovebirds. They're just so stinking cute. I think I want this one. I really love this one. And then on this side, I want, oh, I like that. Let's do that one. Okay, so those will be the signatures. Then I pulled out my, I've got 5 sheets each. Oh, I probably, yeah, I'll fold them all, but then I have to cut them because they're too big. But it's easier if I've already folded them to cut them. I love the color this tea stain paper went. It's not super dark. Has some interesting variations on it too. I tea stained some paper today. I tried this new stuff too. I think I got it at the dollar store. And it's artist paper in a rip-out tablet. So I left the one edge. I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to leave it. I thought that would be kind of interesting in a book. And it's not really white. It's almost a light gray in color. So I was curious to see what it would do when I tea stained it. And it came out nice. But then, of course, I got bored. So I didn't finish my tea staining. I find that is probably the boringest thing in the world to do is tea stain paper. I know people like it. I cannot stand it. But I like the results. So I put up with it. This one I'm not super jazzed about. I wonder if I have another one. Let me check to see if I have another sheet. It's not so bad. I have that one, but it's kind of thick. No, I think that's all I've got. That one's too thick. I'm going to use that for a backing on something. I have more in the kitchen. I just don't want to go get them right at the moment. So I'll just fold this anyway. It's from my baking pan. Before I started putting tin foil. I put tin foil on my baking pans, and I just use them for tea staining. They're spares. I just get them at the dollar store. They're real cheap. And I like leaving the tin foil on because it's all crinkly, and eventually the tea just kind of builds up in the cracks. And it makes some nice patterns on your paper. I love the way these ones went. You know, you'll get different results with different teas, and different papers will give you absolutely different results. Okay, so we've got those. And then I'm definitely putting tracing paper because you know how much I love that. So we'll do 2 per signature. Okay, now, I have this other paper, but let's get this together first. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough, like, enough room. It might be too much paper, but we'll see. I plan on doing this. Come on. And that. And adding a tracing paper. And then we've got this. I think I'm going to be short one, maybe. And then a tracing paper. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So that's it there, plus, where did I put them? I've got so much stuff on my desk. Oh, there it is. And then this goes in the middle. Yeah, I think I really like another tea stain paper in there. But I have this other thing I wanted to do, I think. Okay. I mean, you guys can lay this out any way you want. It's really whatever appeals to you. There's no right, there's no wrong. I'm just, like I say, I'm obsessive compulsive. So certain things, like, you know, things have to be lined up and things have to add up properly. And I like odd numbers, not even numbers. And yeah, it's a little glitchy in my head there, but it works for me. Okay, then we got this one, and this one, and this one, this one, and this one, and the envelope. Okay, so essentially, we've got that. Then I have this. Oh, what did I do with the other one? Don't tell me I didn't print one. Oh, Cheryl. Cheryl. Okay, I gotta print a few more of these, but I'm gonna cut these and fold them, and these will be my flaps. So I need 3 more. Because I'm going to have, like the last book, 2 sections of flaps. And I just cut these in half. I have to print some more, you guys. Okay, so this is 8.5, so 4 1/4 is halfway. Could have sworn I did, but obviously not. So that'll go there, and then I decide where I want those, which is right over the tracing paper. Like so. And then there'll be 2 more flaps over the other tracing paper. But I have this other paper. Now, what did I do with it? I think it's in my drawer. Give me 1 second to find it. Yeah. I get this at the dollar store. I love this paper, but see the color? Won't that look nice? So I'm gonna do 2 sheets for each signature. I like it because it feels like construction paper. It has a nice texture. And I will probably put it in the book with this up, but I'm going to punch the bottom. I really love that look. So let's cut that. And let's see. I'm going to do it 5 1/4 inches. Let me see. Let me just double check here, guys. By the way, I'm not trimming down these at all. I'm going to keep them all the same, and so they'll ladder. I'll show you what I mean by that. Yep, 5 1/4 will be perfect, I think. Okay, then see how long it is, including the ripped part. You want to measure that part in as well. So 8 1/4 is my page size. And I do want to cut it 8 1/4, even though I am going to punch the bottom, because I want it shorter than the other pages. Okay. And then I need my punch. And I think I want this one. This one's really pretty. Okay. I punch them together. You don't have to punch them separate if you don't want to. I count the I don't think you can see these, but there's little squares here. I count those to make sure that I've centered it. So 1, 2, 3 squares here, and there's 3 squares here. Oh, it's actually exact. Wow, look at that. And then line up. I'm going to stand up, you guys, because I can't really see, and then I end up messing it up. You want to line up the pattern really well and make sure that this side is pushed against the back. And with this kind of paper, because it's not crisp, you want to give a good, firm, quick push. Like that. So you don't get the fuzzies. Okay, and then line this side up. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I think that's really nice. I like that one. Don't use that very often. So that one is going to go right at the front. Like that. Oh, I like that very much. That's very nice. Cool. Alright. So let's get these folded. So I guess I need to apologize too. Apparently somebody was slightly offended that I talked about my medical problems and said that I should have issued a warning, which I didn't even think of, so I apologize for offending anyone or making anyone squeamish. I thought that I got the point across that it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but apparently I did not. So I do apologize for that oversight. Oh, and I need to mention too, because I've had a lot of people say they can't find me on Etsy. Because I'm not on Etsy, guys. That's why you can't find me there. I always leave the link to my store in the description box. Mine is a Shopify store, so it's a .com. It's the same company that Dreams Etc. uses. It's actually a really good company. And I did that. Did I do that 5.5 or 5 1/4, you guys? What did I do? I guess I'll check. Because I can't hear you. Yeah, 5 1/4. Okay. I actually slept in my bed well, the spare room actually too. Hopefully my husband won't get sick. He's been taking cold FX every day to fend off this virus. So far so good, but you know, it's inevitable, don't you think? But I finally slept in the spare room in a bed. I've been sleeping sitting up in a chair because the minute I lay down I start coughing and I can't breathe, and you know how it goes. Now with these I'm doing 5.5 or 5 1/4 with all of them. And I'll put them right back where I take them out, just because then I don't have to figure it out later. So I did sleep in a bed. I didn't really sleep, you know. Probably because I had a nap. I was so tired. I fell asleep in the chair during the day. And then, of course, I woke up probably 5 times last night. So, let's just say I don't look terrific. Yeah. But I will get there. I have no doubt about that. But, you know, I can't sit and do nothing. It's driving me insane. You know, I can't craft for too long at one time, but it doesn't mean I can't craft at all. So I pretty much get sick in the same month every single year. Something to look forward to every year. Yay! Used to be worse though. I used to get bronchitis every single time. I had pneumonia once too. But now it's just a plain old cold. No biggie. Okay, so that's that one. And I'm going to move this so I can put the second sheet in the one signature, and then it's all laid out. I'm so picky. There's no rush, you know? Okay. I sure like the way that looks. And then that one is going to go in the middle. And that way the envelope, you see, I'll show you here. Let me pull it out. So the envelope shows up better on the plain page. See, that looks nice, right? So then all I have to do is trim these up, and I showed you how I did that the last book, but in case you didn't watch the last series, so that's the A Passion for Pink. There is a link to where you can find this. I bought it on Amazon, but they don't carry this one anymore. You know, a lot of my stuff is old. I've had it for a while, so sometimes when I say where I got it, they don't always have it. But it is a Westcott Mountain, okay? So Mountain and Decal. So if you punch that in as a Google search, you'll probably find it. So I'm going to start, I think, on the edge first. And I don't want it super ripply. So let's just give a somewhat of a measurement there. Okay, around about there. And that's somewhat straight. Hold it down nice and firm. I like this ruler because it has the rubber on the back, so it doesn't slip too easily. It will move if you're not careful, but see, it's got the rubber. Well, it's like a felt. It's not really rubber. So it doesn't move as too easily, but you still have to hold it down fairly firmly. And then I'm going to just do the top. And then I'll measure for the bottom here. This way. I want it below. Below, right there. Okay, and then I usually take it off the corners because I almost always do some sort of a corner punch, and I don't like that showing, so you just take a bit off in the corners. Okay, so then, now where did I have that? there. Yes, it did. Okay. And then this one goes on that bird. I thought I picked that for the front. Did I not? What did I pick? Oh no, pick that one. Maybe I should do that one. Because that's got the nice frame. I think I'm going to switch it. Yeah, I'm going to switch it. That one there. And that one on the front. Okay, so that will be in front of the flaps. That's all I have to remember. Ooh, I'm overheating. Maybe a little fever. I don't know. Happens to me when I drink red wine and caffeine. Does it to me. Ever since I went through menopause. Of course, that doesn't mean I'm giving up either one of them. There are some things worth suffering for. Okay, so then that goes where the flaps are. Put these there. Alright, so you'll see what I mean when I say laddered. See? They're not straight, they're not even. I don't like them that way. I like them like this, because then you can see where the pages are to turn. I just find that nicer, personally. But, you know, whatever floats your boat, right? I mean, it's your book. You do it the way you want to do it. If you are going to do it so that it's even, then you need to start in the center and trim. And as you go, I would do like 2 pages. That's usually if I am going to do it that way. For some particular reason, I decided that I want everything even. I'll take 2 pages at a time. And you have to measure from there to, you know, the middle page to see how much you want to take off. So you just, you know, take your ruler and just say, okay, I need 1/4 inch off. And then as you go, every 2 pages, you take a little less and a little less and a little less till you're at the front. Simple. Okay, so I have that put together. I'm just missing a couple flaps, which I'll do later. But I am going to cut my corners, because I've decided that that's what I want to do. Oh, and the other thing was that I didn't show you the ink that I used. Now, I bought this ink because I just thought it was amazing, the color. And then I got home and went, what in the world am I going to use that for? It was one of those purchases. This is the Blueprint sketch, and I'm sure that you guys have this one, because, I mean, if you like Tim Holtz and you like the distress, this is a gorgeous blue, and it's perfect for this kit. It goes exactly. It's wild. It's the same color as the blue that I used in the kit, so that's what I decided to use, and boy, am I glad I did, because it just frames out this kit so nicely. I'm very, very pleased with it. Because on a lot of the pages I've done like a spray, you know, around the edge. And it just kind of, I don't know, just frames it real nice. Yes, I'm definitely going to love this corner. I didn't want anything too funny. It turned on that yellow. It turned it a little green. That's funny. Wow. Probably when it dries, it'll look more blue. Yeah, it does. Okay, did I get that? No, I didn't. There. Yep. I really like that corner. It's simple. I wanted something really simple for this one because it isn't a frou-frou book. Oh, it might end up being. Who knows? I start off with an idea, but yeah, it rarely turns out the way I envisioned it. Okay. So that's going to be really nice. Now, do I cut the corner on these? Well, I've got lots of this paper, so let's see what it would do if I did. Just gently put it up there. Okay, that just rounds it a little bit. Yeah, that works much better. Yeah, see, it sits in there nicer. Okay. I love this punch. I love the thumb punches. They're so nice to work with. I believe it's an EK. Yeah, EK. And I did not buy this, so I can't help you out. This was given to me by my mother-in-law. When I watch a video and I really like the person's punch, I just Google the brand name, and usually you'll get the images, so then you just punch up the images until you find the one that you're looking for, and almost always it has a name or a link to where you can purchase it. I mean, you know, I'll help out as much as possible, but a lot of times I have no clue. I've had a lot of stuff for a really long time. I didn't start out making journals. I started out scrapbooking. And then I went to card making. Ooh, I'm going to have to switch these pages. You know why? Because I've done 5 as lines and 5 planes. So I'm going to swap them around a little bit. I'll do that after I get this done, though. Now these I'm not going to cut. They're just going to stay. Same with this. Did I get this one? No, I did not. It really looks nice, that blue. Stands out quite well. Yeah, so here's a clean one. one's lined. So let's put a plain one there. And that one's lined. Okay, that one's plain. So my son leaves in a few days. He's going to New Zealand. I have a subscriber who always leaves me nice messages, and she lives in New Zealand. So I'm not sure where Ty is going. I think it's, he's going to a couple places. I think the two major cities. But he's doing this really cool tour, and part of it is they go where they film The Hobbit. So that's part of the tour. But there's all kinds of things that they do. It's 10 days, the tour. He's going to be there for a total of just over 3 weeks. He's never really done that before. I mean, he's come to Hawaii with us for a week at a time, but he's never really done anything big like this before. So I'm really, really excited for him. And I know he's going to have a really good time. I just have to find a striped one, you guys. There's one. Let's move that one in there. I'm super excited for him, though. I personally don't think I could do a trip like that because it's a long plane trip. And if you follow me, you know I really don't like to fly. Hawaii's probably as far as I could handle without somebody conking me on the head. I've even tried add-on, and I think that was it was our first time as a couple going to Hawaii. Ken had never been. He'd never flown. He'd never been on a cruise ship, and we were doing both. We were flying and we were doing a cruise ship. This was for our 25th wedding anniversary, so that was 10 years ago. And my husband's very claustrophobic, so I was worried, you know. I thought, oh yeah, that's all I need is for him to open the door, you know, in the middle of the flight. And so I got a prescription for myself for Ativan because I figured, you know, it's been a long time since I've really flown, and it never used to bother me, but for some reason it really started to bother me. Uh-oh, I think I just wrecked that page. What happened? What happened? That's why it wasn't. I didn't get both of them in there. Poopy. Let's see if I can. Yeah, excellent. So anyway, I got a prescription, and my doctor said to me, well, try it at home first before you go, see how you react to it. So I did. I took a pill. Well, I tell you, it conked me right out. So I thought, perfect, this will be great. You know, we'll both be able to take it, and we'll be good. So when you fly from Hawaii, oops, I missed a pin. back here to Canada. It's a red-eye. Hang on. Sorry. It's a red-eye flight, always, when we go. If we decided to go in the wintertime, it isn't, but I don't like flying in the winter. It freaks me out. So, we always go in May. So we leave at the end of April, and that gets us our day flight. But as soon as it's like I think it's about the 28th of April, the airline switches and it takes off that second flight. So then, you don't get there till 9 o'clock at night. Which, to me, that's such a waste. I mean, if we go at 9:30, I think the flight is, in the morning, we get there at 1:30 in the afternoon. So you've got plenty of time to go to Costco and get your groceries, and you can't check in until 3 anyway. So that's perfect timing for us. So we always leave at the very end of April, and then this year I'm there for almost all of May. My husband's coming home with his mom, but I'll be there longer. And what did I do here? Nope, that goes here. So that's all good. But when we did this flight, coming home was like, you don't leave till 10 after 10 at night. And with the time change for us, man, we didn't get in till the next morning. 7:30 in the morning. It was crazy. I've never been on a red-eye before. I don't like flying at night. I think it's more because they turn all the cabin lights down, and I don't know. I just don't like it. And I don't sleep on a plane. I've tried many, many, many times, and I just can't seem to sleep. But, ooh, look at that. That looks nice, hey? So, I got the Ativan. I know, I digress all the time. Got the Ativan, and like I said, I tried the one pill, so one was enough. Well, we took the pill, and I was still awake. It did nothing. So now I'm desperate because I'm feeling very anxious. And so we took another. Still didn't sleep. And I'm like, I don't believe this. So our son was still living at home at the time, and he picked us up at the airport, and I swear we looked like drug addicts. Our pupils were totally pinpricks. We were wired. Our eyes were like, those saucer eyes that you see, those funny cat pictures, where the cat's eyes are like... That's how I felt we looked. Oh, I've never felt so bad in my life. It was awful. And we got home, I think Ken and I, we literally fell into bed, and I think we slept 9 hours. And if you knew my husband, you would know that that is like impossible. He worked for so many years, getting up at 3:30 in the morning and going to bed at 8 o'clock at night. So he didn't get a whole lot of sleep. And slept 9 hours. We were so zonked. My son was laughing his head off at us. But yeah, it kind of didn't work for us. So now I don't take anything. I've learned to, honestly, this is what I do, guys. I pray. And I pray a lot. And I just talk and talk and talk in my head, And it works for me. I feel a sense of peace. And I've managed for the last couple of trips to get through it without any anxiety. And I actually am smiling when we land. And that's really what travel is supposed to be, right? You're not supposed to be freaking out. I mean, that just takes the joy away. And my husband actually discovered he likes flying. And he's not bothered by it at all. here I was so worried for him, never even thought about me, you know, and my anxiety level. But like I say, I've learned to manage it, and now I enjoy the flight. You know, the best thing about trips for me is the planning of them. I know that's crazy, right? I mean, most people say, oh no, it's laying on the beach, and no. I mean, yeah, I love that. Of course I love that. But I love planning it. I just get so much joy out of that. And I'm not one of those people, though. I don't have everything written down and we have to stick to an itinerary. I just like to know what's available to do. And so we're not like getting up going, well, what are we doing today? You know? And sometimes we have things booked ahead, and, you know, if we're doing some sort of tour. I think this time I'm actually going to zip line, you guys. I am 57 years old. But I'm going to zip line. Because why not? Right? And it's not that high, so if I fell, I wouldn't kill myself. Yeah, I wouldn't do the one through the jungle. No, no, no. This one's just done at the tropical plantation. If any of you have done it at the tropical plantation, let me know what you thought about it. We've seen it. Like, we've gone a couple times and watched them do it. Looks like a lot of fun. And I'm not afraid of heights or anything like that, so. Of course, my son, he just loves freaking me out, I tell you. He's always been one of those people from a baby. He was one of those babies that literally I could take him to a park, put him on a blanket, and he wouldn't move from that blanket because he did not like the feel of grass on his feet. He didn't like swing sets. He didn't like jungle gyms. He didn't like any of those things. So, tell you what an easy baby he was. Well, now he's decided that since he's going to New Zealand, he wants to try skydiving. I'm like, are you kidding me? You are our only child. You cannot. I forbid it. So he's like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm going to try it. So I handed the phone to his dad. And I said, talk some sense into him. Of course, I think he just winds me up, right? Well, that's what Ty does. But, maybe because he's never really done anything like that. That was his cousin. His cousin, oh man, that kid, he just tried anything. He was fearless, absolutely fearless. And Tyler was not. So, I never had any anxiety raising him. Adam, on the other hand, whew, I think I would have been in the hospital. He just did everything, that kid. It's funny how people can be related and complete opposites. I have to say, Tyler's a lot like me. I'm not a daredevil, never have been. I think about stuff, and the consequences. I've always been that way. I don't know if it's because I'm a middle child. Maybe. I don't know. I was a major tomboy when I was young, because I have two brothers. One older, one younger. And my younger brother, he was the daredevil. Well, it's his son that was, like, try everything kind of kid. Yeah. So my younger brother was the daredevil. My older brother was... how can I describe my older brother? Bookish, let's say that. So he wasn't outside very often. Not like Dave and I. And yeah, I used to be really into sports, and I just thought it was more fun hanging out with guys because they seem to have more fun than girls. I wasn't into dolls and stuff like that. So it's funny though, I did get more girly as I got older. I still wouldn't call me a girly girl though. I'm quite happy in a hoodie, you know? But yeah, I mean, of course I'm gonna worry every second that he's away, because that's what moms do. On the other hand, I'm thrilled to death for him that he's kind of fulfilling a dream. His is a long flight because he's flying from Calgary, so it's even longer than me. I think I might as well just use that page. Add some interest. So I guess this is going to be another long one. I hope you guys still are enjoying that. I haven't talked this much in days. Because every time I start talking, I start coughing. So I haven't phoned anybody, and when people phone me, I'm not even picking up the phone. Nothing worse, right? Than you're trying to talk and have a conversation, and all you can do is cough. That's so annoying for the other person on the other end of the line, too. So poor Janice, Vintage Moss, she texted me and then she called me, and I didn't even pick up, and I sent her a text. I said, I'm not talking to anybody, you know, like, I just felt so crummy that I really didn't want to talk to anybody. Okay, put that away. And rip that corner off. Oh, did I? No. Oh, boneheaded Cheryl. I forgot to trim these down. What a dork. Okay, well, that's fine. I guess I'll end up using my new paper, and I will use these for another book. Not a huge deal. Okay, I was doing this 8 1/4. I did that before too. Oh well, let's keep it real, people. This is what I do. Alright, that one goes Where? Oh, something got moved. That's the center. Oh, that one. I guess because I cut the yellow. Or did I even cut the yellow for this one? Did I? Nope. Or I did. I didn't put it in there. Right? I did cut it. Yeah, I did. Okay. That's fine. Aren't those the prettiest little lovebirds? So pretty. So I'm thinking it's time that I start to design a new kit. I kind of started one. I wanted a very neutral, no real theme. I was going to show you that page too. Let me grab it. Let me just finish this here first. Okay. Now, the other thing I did not do was figure out the order these go in. So that's a plain. I need a lined one. Where's the lined one? There's a lined one. Take that one out. That's lined. And then that. And that's plain. So that one should be lined. Oh. How come I don't have... What did I do? That's one. Two. Three. What the heck did I do here, guys? Let's start in the center. This one, two, three. Okay, three lined, so there should be two lined in here. Which means there's four plain ones in here. Should be. No. One, two, three. Three plain ones. So there should be two of those. Oh, I must have misprinted. Oh well. Okay, Sarah. Only one line? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, is that line? Ah, that's line. Okay, so plain, lined, plain, and this one should go here. So once I've got the order done, I'll end it there, and then when I come back I'll have fixed these pages, and we can go from there. Okay, so that goes there, that goes there. This goes here. Is this the short one? Yes, this is the short one. Yeah, I can't trim it off because it'll wreck the corner. I can't fix those, but I can use them somewhere else, so that's not a huge deal. Okay, so let's see. That one, two, right. These I need. That and this. Get these out of the way. I'm gonna cut them together. Uh-oh. Okay, that worked. But I'm not going to take that chance again, so let's do that. Ugh, my stomach muscles are killing me from all my coughing. That one, and where are we going? Okay. This stuff. And put these signature. Now I had that at the front, and then let's see, we've got, just so I know the layout, I'm going to leave the big ones in there. Tea-stain. Okay. That, and this one goes here. And the envelope. Okay. So I just have to fix the tea-stain pages, which won't take me any time at all. So my layout is there. Now, I think I want to put, let's see, right here, doily in there. Yeah. And then I've got these two, and I'll glue those together and add a strip. Okay. I think that's it, guys. So, oh, I want to show you that page before I forget again. So this is what I did. And I want it very muted. So there'll be all different flowers, and I think they're all going to have lines on them, but it'll be a full 10 pages, and then I'll probably do some ephemera for it as well. I just really like that muted kind of torn paper look to it, so I think they'll all be similar. Yeah, let me know what you think. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.